Hey, I'm ZSH Plays, welcome back to Planet Wild. In this episode, we're going to be exploring one of the most unique environments in the world, the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. So we're here on a blank map, and we're going to recreate the incredible environment that was created when humans were removed from this area after the Chernobyl disaster. There is so much amazing wildlife here, and the first thing I want to do is try and recreate this photo. I've been fascinated by this photo since I first saw it, with the big radar tower in the background and the Przewalski's horse in the foreground. So that is where we're going to start. So the first thing I'm going to do is put this workshop item in, and then we're going to work out where we need to build the radar tower so that when we are on the edge of the map where the Przewalski's horse live, we're going to be seeing this fade away into the early morning mist. So as we zoom out here, this building, which we'll replace with the radar tower, will fade into the mist exactly like it does in the photo. So when we get to the map boundary here, it will be faded into the mist and we'll be able to recreate that photo. Next up is time for the trees. So we're going to do a big line of pine trees in a curve across the whole map, and then we're going to fill in the entire space behind them with forest. That's going to be both the backdrop for the Przewalski's horse paddock, and it's going to be where all the other animals on the map live. So we're going to have grey wolves, red foxes, red deer, and butterflies as well. So they're going to need a big forest to live in. So I've got the line of trees across here, and later on we're going to fill it all in with a forest. But next up we're going to build the radar tower. So this big radar array was Soviet technology for detecting, I think, incoming missiles and stuff like that, or maybe espionage, I'm not entirely sure. And this is the backdrop for the Przewalski's horse. So I've just made a pretty simple recreation of it. This is always going to be in the background. It looks really cool above the forest when it's finished, so no need to do too much detailing on it. Let's finish up the forest. So I've got a nice arrangement here of Eastern European style temperate trees, mainly pines. There was famously a pine forest really near the reactor, which was wiped out very quickly, known as the Red Forest. But we're just going to stick with normal trees here. We've got this nice arrangement, and we're going to cover half of the map with this behind the row of pine trees that we just made. So we've got a nice rich looking forest to use. There we go. So that looks really nice with the radar array behind it. And as you can see, we're really starting to get to recreating the photo of the Przewalski's horse here. But we've got this big expanse of green right in front of the camera, which is just basically Planet Zoo's basic grass. So this is going to need a lot of work doing to it to make it look like a proper field. And there we go. I absolutely love the new grass in the game from the Grasslands Animal Pack. You can make some amazing stuff with it. I am so happy with how this looks, especially with the radar array just peeking over the trees in the background. This is definitely ready for the Przewalski's horse to come in. So let's move on and do something else for some of the other animals that we're going to have in the video. So I've put a road in here, and this is going to lead us to the outskirts of Pripyat, which was the nearest town to Chernobyl. I've built an old, decayed apartment building based on a real building that's still there now. Again, it's not super detailed, it's always going to be in the background of the final shots at the end of the video, but enough detail to make it look good, especially from a distance. I'm really happy with how it looks. It's quite a unique design as well, which is why I chose this particular apartment to recreate. And one of the things that I've done with it, apart from adding some details and vines and decay and stuff like that, is I've got another little building next to it here. This is off the workshop, I didn't build this one. You can't really see it in the final build. Its purpose is to hide a butterfly exhibit. So there's a butterfly exhibit suspended in midair, and the path which goes through it, which you can't get rid of, is hidden by the roof of this building. And that allows us to have some old world swallowtail butterflies just fluttering past the building. In the cinematics at the end, you might have seen one right at the start of the video. It looks so good. I love the butterflies in this game, and it just brings a real sense of life to this building which no longer has any human life in it anymore. Let's move on and recreate the Pripyat town sign. This is a big old slab of white concrete, which if you follow my channel, you know I'm a big fan of. And I think the original has Cyrillic letters, presumably the name of the town, on top of it. But I couldn't really create those small enough to fit onto the sign, so I just did some custom text for the 1970 and then put loads of the new grasses around it. Really happy with how this looks. This is where the red fox is going to live, and it'll just lead us into the apartment blocks on the edge of town. Next up, we've got the clearing where the red deer are going to live. We're going to have a couple of stags, and the climax of the cinematics at the end will be the stags fighting. We've got a little trade centre and a caretaker there to get the animals in. The last thing to do is just a little bit of a dilapidated stable, which is where the timber wolf is going to be prowling around. And that is the build done. Here's an overview of the finished build, and let's take a look at the final cinematics. I hope you enjoy them. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. Well, let's check them out. Here's the apartment building with the butterflies. Really happy with how these shots turned out. Here's the red fox at the entrance to Pripyat. And here's the Przewalski's horse. I'm so pleased with these. It really evokes the feel of the photo that inspired this entire video. Look very happy in their wilderness environment. We also have the timber wolf. I'm going to leave you now with the red deer. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.